Alright guys, this lady here wants me to play Mighty to Save Her. I hope you guys enjoy this. 1, 2, and...
Everyone needs compassion, a love that's never failing. Let mercy fall on me. Everyone needs forgiveness, the kindness of a Savior, the hope of nations, hope of nations. Savior, He can move the mountains. My God is mighty to save. He is mighty to save. Forever, author of salvation, He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. So take me as You find me, all my fears and failures. Fill my life again. I give my life to follow everything I believe in. Now I surrender. I surrender. Savior, He can move the mountains. My God is mighty to save. He is mighty to save. Forever, author of salvation, He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. Shine your light in, let the whole world see. We're singing for the glory of the risen King. Jesus, shine your light in, let the whole world see. We're singing for the glory of the risen King. Savior, He can move the mountains. My God is mighty to save. He is mighty to save. Forever, author of salvation, He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. He rose and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave.
Hey, what's up guys? So we're back on one of our new topic videos. We're going to be talking about finances right now. Welcome to Why We Are One. Charlie, Selena.
Hello. So don't mind my Wonder Woman headband. My little kid put it on me. One of my babies, Isabella, and I never took it off. And my crazy hair is poofy. I just got out the shower and then I let it dry naturally. But anyways, okay. So finances, very, very, very hard topic for some people, including us. It took a long time for us to come to an agreement. So the first thing is we have the same bank, and then we each have our own separate cards. So pretty much whenever I get paid, it just goes straight into the bank. Whenever he gets paid, it just goes straight into the bank.
And that's called a potluck. And we learned that in premarital counseling.
Yes.
It's when everybody both of the people in the relationship, the marriage, they work and they pour into one potluck together.
And I just want to add, I wasn't always working when we got married. In the beginning I was, but then when I had my kids, I stopped and now I'm started again. So you might wonder, what about if you're not giving towards the potluck? So yeah. I still had my own separate card and I still was able to pull out money because basically what's his is mine and what's mine is his. So, you know, it's pretty much you just share. And so like he's going to give you an example of a time where we always didn't agree and we had to like kind of talk it out, because there were some times where I was just spending and then he was spending and we would end up like, what is it with not withdrawal, overdraft. Like yeah. So many times because we're not communicating. And I think it's important to communicate what your expectations are when it comes to finances, especially, you know, because it is important to have money in the bank. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I communication with finances is important, and I can understand how arguments can come up with that topic, because when it comes to finances, when you're working, you as an individual feel that that's your money and you can do whatever you want. But I think the way that we've looked at it is that we are married and we are one flesh and we have children and we're all one unit, one family. So whatever that comes in, our motto has been, we're all going to just put it into this potluck and we're going to do it together. Doesn't mean that we haven't had arguments about finances, because we had. And I'll kind of explain a situation where that came up. I love fitness and I'm an enthusiast of fitness, and
it can be very expensive. And
it is a very expensive hobby. Health and fitness and Spartan races as well. So I'll give you an example. I can start off with our fitness equipment. When we bought our fitness equipment, we did not have children. And you're talking about thousands of dollars of equipment. I mean, benches, weights, bars, Bowflex sets, power block sets, which a set of dumbbells by itself is $600. The next set of dumbbells are like $300, $400. In the beginning, yes, it caused some trouble. Yes, it caused some arguments because there was not an understanding as to why. Why are you purchasing this?
I didn't really appreciate what he was into, and that's something that you have to learn when you're married. He had a hobby before me, and that's what he's going to continue. Just because we're married doesn't mean that he needs to stop his hobby. My hobby is teaching. I love to teach. I love arts. So I will spend money on teaching stuff for my kids. Like my entire house is filled with teaching crap that I'm not, you know, I wasn't a teacher at the time, but I would just buy. And he's like, but why? I don't get it. But to me, it's necessary for my kids to learn, you know, and that's not, now he gets it and now I get it, but it did take a lot of arguments and communication. Yeah, so
step one, I would say, is communication. So when we communicated, I told Selena exactly what I wanted. It was going to be costly, and we came to an understanding through communication as to what was the purpose of why we were buying this equipment. And we bought this equipment early on in our marriage, and now we're talking about 6 years, close to 7 years later. We still use that equipment, and the purpose still remains the same, that it was for all of us to use as a family. Mm-hmm. And it still remains the same. So that was the one thing. Another thing was doing these Spartan races. They're very expensive, right? And
hotels.
I mean, you're traveling to different cities in the U.S. You're spending on hotels, food, room and board.
We honestly, like, once I came around and I understood this is his passion, like, better him have that than do something outside of, you know, go to a bar and get drunker and me never see him. That's just something that obviously I don't like. So better he have that than anything else.
Yeah, so we had to plan that and budget that as well. Through communication, you budget. You know that next month you're going to have that expenditure. Mm-hmm. And so what that does is we minimize on things that we know that are going to be costly, like eating out. You know, now we're food prepping, which is one big thing for us. Is a way of saving money because we can spend our money on things that really mean something to us, like family time, spending time together, going out and stuff like that. So smart bracelets were expensive, but through communication, and I started doing these in 2012. So we're talking about 5 years of me doing these races now. We've come to an understanding of why I do it, and my wife has joined me and become one with it. She's even done one herself. One of our kids has done one already, and we're making it a family fun.
I would say the first thing is communication. The second thing would be, if that is what you want, for us it's help, just have joint accounts and share everything. Because obviously if you got married, you know, it's because you trust one another with everything. So that includes finances. So what would you say is, I guess, number 3?
Yeah, I would say communication. You know, having joint accounts, and that for me is planning. Right, so communication, you create a plan. Creating a plan is creating a joint account, talking about it, saying what's going to be spent, how we're going to do this, and
trying it out, I guess.
Yeah, and just putting it to action. I would say ultimately is putting it to action. Trust, when it comes to trust, is critical. I mean, and trust is part of communication. If you don't talk, you're not going to trust each other. So you got to talk to each other. You got to come to an understanding of what it is that are your flaws. If you're a spender, and you know that that's hard for you, because I love buying supplements too, and then I get tempted with these things at times. So I have to sometimes hold back, and I'll be honest, and I'll tell Selena, well, maybe I want this, but I'm not going to have it now, because I know that we've discussed that these are our boundaries. So you communicate, create a plan, and in our plan is that we will spend on things that are necessary, right? Things that are not necessary, we will talk about before we buy them.
Exactly. Talk about it before you buy
them. Yeah, and we'll talk about them, and we'll see, does it really meet the criteria of something that's important to buy? I
hope this helps.
Yeah, I hope this helps. I mean, the arguments have happened, and we have not communicated at times appropriately, and we've argued over money. And one thing that's really important to know, that finances and communication are one of the most prevalent things that cause divorce. So if you're not talking and you're not communicating, especially over money, then money is the root of all evil, and it will destroy your marriage. So I would say keep it all in the family. That potluck is really important to us, because the money everybody's enjoying it. Selena, when she wasn't working,
I was enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I was the one going to work, and then she was enjoying it. So and there's nothing wrong with that. But with limitations, and understanding that you don't want to put your family in a situation where they will be in a rut financially.
Ask us any other questions, and thanks for watching.
Hey guys, thanks, and I hope you guys liked the video in the beginning. Yeah, we tried. So enjoy it, guys.
Bye.
Peace.